Because if a machine can be as creative or more creative than we are, what does it mean about us? How do we define ourselves? I don't use a lot of AI. I don't use it artistically except for the graphics specifically for the tour. It was just because I hate doing photo shoots. We needed a photo shoot for this tour, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't need to get out of my house. And so I played around with it because it was new. But having said that, after doing this initial thing, I really understand the implications of it to all the different crafts, to all the different art forms. I'm not even talking about other jobs like lawyers and doctors and secretaries, but in the world of art, the idea of this entity that regurgitates, only regurgitates, because it cannot really create nothing new. So it's built upon a database of everything that we ever poured into it. And then it just, without knowing, without feeling, without suffering, without going through the motion, without understanding, put something out that can still be touching is very interesting. Every once in a while, there is a technological advance that changes the way we see ourselves as a species. So the industrial age, until then we were working hard, to do all these things physically. And then the industrial age came. So technological innovation was able to redefine ourselves to ourselves, meaning that suddenly we didn't need to be the strong people who shape the earth in our image. We had machines that can do it. So what are we? Okay, we are intellectuals. That's something the machines cannot do yet, Then come the computers. And suddenly there's an intellectual technology that can do computing calculations way faster, way stronger, way better than us. And so what are we left with? And then we need to say, okay, we are creative. That's what defines us as a species. And now we are on the brink or in the midst of a revolution that takes that away from us. And we need to redefine ourselves, because if a machine can be as creative or more creative than we are, what does it mean about us? How do we define ourselves? To answer it, I think art is a subject being touched by an object created by another subject. And so you have this kind of triangular thing, because as a subject, create an object. I need to do it. I outlet my emotions into it, my thoughts. I create an object by my craft. And then that's one side of the process. Then an observer sees that object, hears that object, and relates to it, or finds themselves in it, or is touched by it. And that whole mechanism is art. I think if you take away that subject creation process, suddenly an object is just created out of no subject, I think you can still be touched by it. But I'm not sure I would call it art. It would be just like you can be touched by a waterfall. It's touching, yes, it's beautiful. A sunset is beautiful. But it wasn't created by the suffering and hope and dreams of somebody else. And so the whole idea that you find they're speaking my words, I'm understood, I am seen, I am held by somebody else's ability to describe myself to myself, I think that's gone. And that's a dangerous path. It's here and it's not going anywhere. And I don't know, I'm scared for what's to come by that amputation of that side of the equation.